And a good Thursday morning, summer Thursday morning here on Birds 365. Yes, we're talking football even though it's summer. And oh, by the way, it's summer as per any way you mark it on the calendar with the summer solstice or Memorial Day or last day of kids' school. Well, maybe there are some kids that are still in school. I don't know. I don't have kids of that age anymore, but it's the summer. You wouldn't know out walking a dog this morning, Johnny Mac, would you?
No, man, it's turned. It's dark. It's depressing. It's like 65 degrees. It's cool. Yeah. So
A
hopefully it turns
little
the corner.
chill in the air when I got the dog out this morning, which I couldn't believe. It's summer, right? It is officially summer. You wouldn't know it when you're out at 6 o'clock in the morning. But we're here bright and early with you. Appreciate you streaming in with us. We got 2 hours of Eagles talk for you and two good Eagle guests that we'll give you the details on coming up in just a second. Johnny Mac at summer because it is the season of lists, and we all have our lists, and we're gonna run it down each and every single day for the next however many days it takes. I guess we got now on Sports Illustrated. Do you and Ed Kratz do a release on the weekends too, Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah.
Do you have
Yeah. Every day.
okay? So we'll have to
Every
do
day.
catch up on Monday of a couple of days over the weekend. But John and Ed combined a top 25 list. They both voted and combined them together, come up with a top 25 list for the Eagles going into the season, projecting their level of importance by the time we get to the end of the season. You had Kenny Gainwell at number 25, Nick Morrow at number 24. Who do you and Ed Kratz have at number 23?
Number 23, Reid Blankenship, penciled in as a starting safety. Quite, I always talk about the advancement of Jalen Hurts in a calendar year. Now, different levels. I'm not trying, but the advancement of Reid Blankenship in a calendar year is pretty impressive in its own right. Um, if you go back to the 2022 draft, the Eagles spent a whole heck of a lot of money on their undrafted class. It was considered one of the best in the NFL. Carson Strong.
Where is that Carson Strong right
Yeah,
now?
good question. I'd have to look it up. I think he was playing in the XFL, USFL, one of those things. But a bunch of other guys. Noah Elise, who's still here. Brother Christian. But he was hurt, coming out of his pro day towards Achilles. So they thought so much of him. They knew he wasn't going to play, but they thought so much of him, they brought him in. So keep an eye on him. Kennedy Brooks, who was like still here, was a 3-time 1,000-yard rusher at Oklahoma. Some pretty high profile guys that were supposed to be draftable commodities. Not only Mario Goodrich, Josh Blackwell, all the corners, Josh Jobe, who made the team. Josh Sills, who made the team till he got in trouble now on the commissioner's exempt list. They had a lot of undrafted guys who were considered, draftable commodities by at least some. And way down at the bottom of that list was Reid Blankenship. They gave him $5,000 to sign, $5,000. And we know they're high profile rookies. We know Jordan Davis, Maxwell College Player of the Year, the Kobe Dean, Butkus Award winner, Cam Jurgens, star center in the Big Ten, or whatever Nebraska. What is Nebraska in now? I don't even know. I gotta keep that stuff straight. But he was a star at the college level. The best rookie they had last year was Reid Blankenship.
That's true.
The best rookie they had last year was Reid Blankenship, and that's not an overstatement at all. And now he's kind of entrenched, so it's pretty impressive. Even go to the first round picks, and I'd have to look it up. Did any safeties get drafted in the first round last season?
Year? I don't remember off the top of my head.
I'm looking it up real quick. Oh man. Yeah, Daxton Hill from Michigan.
He went in the first?
Yeah, he went 31st overall. Back to back, Lewis Seen, 32nd overall.
Oh, that's
better than
right.
both those guys. Better than both those guys. Now, long term, we'll see. Although I was just reading something about Seen. He's the fourth safety in Minnesota. So he's not going to play. He's not going to play again Daxton Hill's probably going to play because they lost Jeremy Bates, and maybe he turns out to be a star. It's pretty amazing. Everybody missed on Reid Blankenship, and even the Eagles. I don't want to give them too much credit because they were like, we'll
they
give him
gave him
$5,000.
$5,000 whole dollars.
Yeah, we'll give him $5,000 to come in, and I remember talking to Denard Wilson when he was still here. He said when the pads came on, he started showing up, and it never stopped. And slowly behind the scenes, nobody even knew, right? Nobody even knew. Everybody assumed Kayvon Wallace was the top backup at safety. And then all of a sudden, CJ gets hurt and Reid's out there,
right,
because he impressed Denard Wilson so much in practice. And then to double down on that, Jody, remember when CJ came back and it became, hey, you know what? Well, CJ's played nickel in New Orleans, played slot corner. He's very good at it. Avonte Maddox got hurt. Let's play Reid at safety, and let's put CJ in slot when we have 5 DBs on the field instead of Josiah Scott. And they did that because Reid was so good.
Right.
And, first undrafted rookie, only undrafted rookie to ever intercept Aaron Rodgers in the NFC Championship game. Strips Deebo Samuel, recovers the fumble. Man, was impressive. Now, we'll see. He played about 340 snaps when you include the playoffs. Still a small sample size, but it's not a tiny sample size.
No.
It's not, and we'll see as he becomes a 3-down player, if he can keep it up. But it was pretty darn impressive the way he played last season.
And the fact that they let both CJ, GJ, and Epsy walk out the door. And they both got good paydays. I'm not suggesting the Eagles made a mistake at not keeping either of those guys. They both got paid. Maybe even Epsy, even more than CJ, GJ. He did get himself a good deal with the Raiders. The Eagles might have been more aggressive in attempting to keep both of those guys if Reid Blankenship hadn't have done what he did. That they were, okay, we can hand a starting spot over to him. He played as much as he did for us last year. We're not taking that big a chance. We know we got to replace one of the two, but we can plug him in for one of our 2 departing starting safeties. That says a lot. So I like your pick of Mr. Blankenship. I told you I felt bad. You and Eddie Kratz putting the work in, so I worked up my top 25. I had Zach Mack at number 25. I think he steps up this year and gets a chance to show that he belongs. Christian Ellis, because I'm sorry, I'm just not a fan of Nicholas Morrow. And I actually think if I'm wrong about this one, it'll be because the Eagles go out and get another linebacker. If they don't, I think Ellis is going to play a lot. So I slotted him in number 23 and 24. And number 23 is, for me, Edmonds. I'll go him first, bottom up on my safety. Safety is a position we're going to question plenty about this Eagles during the offseason. I think Terrell Edmonds is going to play, and I think he's going to be a fit because this is no longer Jonathan Gannon's defense. I think Sean Desai will keep the major concepts in place. I don't think you're going to see drastic changes, but I think you'll see some differences. And one of them is the possibility of having 5 DBs on the field this year, less linebackers on the field. And if that's the case, Edmonds is going to be the guy who's going to be the box safety. He's going to be the one who's coming up and helping more in run protection. Blankenship was good last year. I think Edmonds, with his experience in Pittsburgh, will be tasked to be that extra guy in the field. I don't think he's coming off the field much at all. Last year, did Epps play every single snap of the year?
Almost. He was. He missed a few, but almost. He was at 99%. So effectively, he played the entire season.
Right. So the Eagles are not afraid to keep their the safety that they need out there, who does all things, maybe not great, but does everything. for almost every snap of the year. I think that's going to be Edmonds. I think I don't know if he's going to be a playmaker. He didn't put up ball hawking stats when he was in Pittsburgh, but he's going to be one of those glue guys that they're going to keep in. So I've got him on my top 25. Terrell Edmonds is my number 23. All right, Johnny, before we punch up our first guest, BLG, Brandon Lee Gouton is going to join us in a couple of minutes. Did you see the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles going viral last night?
I did not. This is news to me. Yeah, I'm too busy being upset about certain things we talked about before the show. Plus, Field Yates upset me. Mike Florio upset me, so I missed.
All right, we'll get to Yates and Florio. We'll put Orange Cassidy aside. No, what I'm referring to is last night they named the women's U.S. World Cup soccer team, and they had quote unquote celebrities welcome each of the ladies who made the team. Joe Biden did it. John Cena did it. Lil Wayne did it. A bunch of celebrities. Tina Fey were asked to, hey, congratulations, your spot on team, blah, blah. And they went down through the entire U.S. women's soccer team, which they announced. And they asked Jalen Hurts to do it, which kind of came as a surprise to me. I didn't know Jalen was a soccer fan. I don't even know if he is a soccer fan, or they just said, hey, Jalen Hurts is a major name in the National Football League. Let's see if we get him involved. So, yeah, last night he announced one of the women that made the team. I'm sorry, I'm not a women's soccer fan. I'll be rooting for him just like everybody else. Big fan of Ashley Sanchez, are you, Johnny Mac?
I can throw Alex Morgan at
she you. Was named, not by Jalen Hurts.
I could throw what is it, Christine Press, I think. Is that a name?
I know Megan Rapinoe because she changes
right.
Her hair
Megan
color.
Rapinoe's she's kind of more famous for her activism even than soccer. But there's a few.
Right.
Yeah.
Ashley Sanchez made the team. And
I used to be able to give you Julie Ertz all the time, obviously.
Oh, you could give me Julie Ertz.
Julie's still on?
Julie Ertz made the team, the first one as a mom. She's been on previously. She's now got a chance to win a World Cup as a mom. She was announced last night, and they didn't give, Jalen and Zach played together, right? Yeah. Even though Zach got traded in the middle of the year, they certainly played there. If you're going to give Jalen Hurts one to announce, why wouldn't you give him Zach Ertz's wife?
That's
it didn't
true.
Make any sense.
That would be the way to go, I would imagine.
He announced Ashley Sanchez, and between you and me, it just feels wrong to say anything bad about Jalen these days. He never mentioned her last name. He just said, congratulations, Ashley, for making the team. I think it was the only one who the person who introduced them didn't give both names first and last. I think he's the only one who kind of dropped the ball on that one. But yeah, he was part of the group of giving out congratulations and the official viral announcement. Everyone on the U.S. women's team, only National Football League player asked to do so. He's a star, J-Mac. He is one of the superstars.
Oh, yeah.
Not quite ready to go face of the league just yet, but he is not far from it, and he could become it at some point during his career.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me he's involved with something like that at this point. You're right. He's not Patrick Mahomes level yet, but he's top 5 level. And when you're a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, you're going to get endorsements. All that kind of stuff is going to come. Now that you say it, it doesn't surprise me at all. But I agree with you. I would if Julie's on the team.
Julie Ertz on the team.
Yeah, I mean,
why don't you have Jalen do her? So
but that's that's PR people, and they probably don't put that 2 and 2 together. So
it was our boy Kevin Kincaid from Crossing Broad had the video announcement on his website. I watched it this morning just to see Jalen. But Julie Ertz was one of the women on the team, and somebody else got to introduce her. It didn't make any sense. All right, Johnny Mac, Jody Mac, we got plenty to do over the next hour and 40 minutes, including 2 good guests. In hour number 2, our buddy Jeff Mosher from InsideTheBirds.com is going to jump in with us, and coming up in just a couple of minutes, BLG. You're a fan of his, right? You don't put him in the orange.
Yeah, man, he's not a joke like certain goofballs that Tony Khan likes as a fan, and is killing people with actual drawing ability by putting them in there. But I digress.
Rob Van Dam and Orange Cassidy, two of my all-time favorite wrestlers. But no, we will not have RVD. We will have BLG. Brandon Lee Gouton. He joins us next here on Birds 365.